What we got next? What y'all want to talk about next? We y'all want to? We haven't talked about the trans in maybe a week or two.
Yeah, let's talk about the trans people.
Let's hear some transphobia.
This is law professor owns Senator Hawley. Howley?
You said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights
bunch of jibber jabber.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh,
yeah,
so
everyone has babies.
Your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think so.
So you're denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also
you see the lady in the back?
No.
Yeah, I just got wide.
To violence.
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just from this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Yo, first of all, you saw the nose septum, saw the nose ring.
It's over. It was already.
Her eyes got wide the whole time she was responding to him.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen this clip pop up on my stories, and you'll see a lot of women who post about it be like, yo, she kept her cool, she kept her calm. But when I was looking at the clip, I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
she called him transphobic for asking a question.
Are you referring to women when you say that? And I'll
like,
shoot her some bail because she
was playing
she
semantics.
explained it.
I'll shoot her a little bit of bail because he was in a sense acting like he didn't know trans people existed. But you can't really tell someone they can't ask the question because you feel like they should already have the information. You're there to be questioned. So if he says, you're talking about women, and then she responds, well, no, other people, cis, women, cis. And then he says, so then what demographic is this pertaining to then? Are you referring? I just want to let this be noted that this is a transphobic line of questioning. He made it 2 questions in, and the first one was quite simple. Are you referring to women? Yes or no? No, and then you answer it, then wait for the next one, and just continue to answer the questions. She did not. I feel like that's such an issue nowadays. You can't ask questions. You can't look for information. But the people that claim to have all the information get immediately triggered when anything is questioned. Any questions are asked.
Facts.
The exchange, I don't know. It's just unnecessary because if you truly believe in everything you're saying, and actually, she thought she stumped him when she said, "Well, do you believe men can get pregnant?" No. He's like, no, I don't know. That seemed kind of like a softball one. You say, you don't think trans people exist? Bro, it's going over my head.
Like, I understood the argument now. Like, don't get me wrong. I learned something from this topic.
What'd you learn?
I learned that, like, prior to, like, watching this, once I was watching it right now, I was like, oh, shit, trans man could get pregnant. That's never even a thought in my head that I'm like, oh, okay. Because all my life, I'm just like, women get pregnant. But then when you are a trans man, you could also be pregnant because you used to be a woman. So that was the thing that I learned. I was like, oh shit, I guess there are different groups of people that can get pregnant just because we do have different.
That was the semantics she was trying to play. Exactly. He's like, yeah, no, women. And she wanted him to say trans men can get pregnant as well.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have knowledge, if he actually didn't have knowledge of that, you can't get upset at him for asking that question.
But she did ask him a question. She said, can a man get pregnant? She didn't say, can a trans man get pregnant? Yeah, so if you're asking, can a man get pregnant? I just hate it here, bro. I hate this 2022 shit. I hate that we got it. You know trans people make up 0.05% of the population in the U.S.
No fucking.
But make up 99% of the media.
of the fucking
Man, we
conversation
fucking talk
points
about them all the
and the
time,
stuff
bro.
we're talking about. A law professor is slamming a senator over this stuff.
I think
Makes
that's
up
my biggest issue about it.
0.05% of the population are trans. So instead of us just being like, yeah, if you trans, you a little different, do your thing, man. Whatever it is, whatever you want to be called, man, it's cool. Instead, we have to just jam it down everyone's throat. Pause. It's just nonstop. This bullshit conversation. She up there caping for people talking about, well, cis men and cis that and gibber this and gibber that. They can have babies too. So it's not everyone that can just have bro. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like, y'all dedicate your whole lives to 0.05% of the population. I'm not saying they shouldn't be respected, but I don't even know a trans person personally. Like, not that I've avoided one. I don't know anyone personally that's trans. Do you know anyone personally like that's trans? Like, no. I don't.
Oh, I had a. Remember when we were talking about trans women in sports? Like, we've had this debate for so long, right? Probably a year ago when I was working at Island, there was this trans man that I would work with who was previously a woman. See, I be fucking up. He was telling me, I asked him a question about, how do you feel about trans women competing in sports against cis women? And he was so offended by that question. And he felt like I was being transphobic for me not knowing something that I was asking you about. So it's like, I could get
transphobic, buddy. I could get that way if that's what you want. I start saying some shit just to make you mad.
Yeah.
That's a simple question.
And I'm not gonna do that because I fucking work with you too. And it's just it's frustrating because it's like I was open to learning about this situation so I could have a better understanding of it. But now I don't want to learn shit. Because it's like, bro, you think I'm gonna go take my time to research this shit because it's benefiting me in my life, or it's gonna make me think differently about the world. I'm not trying to research it for that reason. I want to hear a real response from a real trans person. So it kind of just turned me off from even doing my own questioning.
Bro, I hate the fact that this is a law professor saying this. Like, like somebody who understands law, and law can in so many different ways can be black and white, and there are some gray areas. But it's like most of the time, law is like, all right, you either did or you didn't, guilty or not. It's this. There's this section which proves this precedent right here, and then you go on here asking Senator Hawley like stupid ass questions like that, wasting people's time. And then he's like, oh, I hope your class isn't like this. She's like, oh yes it is. So you're teaching law but also teaching gender studies? Like, why are we having this conversation? It's like a lot of teachers put their own personal ideas into their lessons. And it's like, if I was watching this, I'd be like, yo, I don't want to send my kid to any school at this point. I wouldn't send him to public school. I wouldn't send him to fucking Harvard or anything like that if a law professor doesn't understand that women have babies and men do not have babies. And you're trying to blur the lines just because now we have new vocabulary and new speech which has to accommodate everybody. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I like the way Sharp from No Jumper speaks on these situations. I won't repeat it, but I do really like his stance. And it's a rare form where you could just, man, you got to like earn that, where you could just be on a huge public platform and just be saying that type of stuff as far as like the old school approach to things like this. It's like, man, that's a badge of honor where like you can just get it off and people aren't going crazy.
Yeah, I feel like, but if you're in the mainstream, like mainstream, like if you're on like NBC or something like that,
J.K. Rowling got killed
exactly.
when she said, in my opinion, there's two genders. But honestly, though,
and she kept doubling down on it too. That's the thing I liked about J.K. Rowling.
But see, I don't know. I can't have the full J.K. Rowling approach and be like, there's two genders. I'm just like, I mean, because if you guys created, then it's there. So I can't argue that because we didn't create well, actually, yeah, the word gender, the gender norms and stuff like that, those are created. So if now you're telling me there's cis women, fake women, all this, I don't know, all this other whatever jargon we're throwing around, I rock with it. Like, that's cool. Y'all do your thing. It has no effect on me. I don't even know a trans person. But if I did, if they're a cool person, they're a cool person. I'm not going to judge you based off any of that. I don't know any. You know what's interesting, though? It makes up 0.5% of the population of the U.S., but I swear, you go to West Hollywood at night, dog. I think you found the whole population. Yeah, I swear, that gotta be 0.03.
See, but you could talk about the gender, mix that shit up, whatever, have fun. But let's not mix up sex. There's no way a man could have a baby.
Lots
at
of
all.
sex.
I don't care what you do, what device you want to use to say what he is and what he's not having no baby.
Unless you constipated for a week. that shit gonna feel like a baby kicking out of your ass. You ever been constipated?
Hell yeah, bro. That should feel like knives coming down your ass.
Nah.
Bro, it's like it's slicing and dicing.
I haven't had it, but I think Ollie Boy's a little constipated right now. But he finally shit this morning. He didn't shit all yesterday. Like yeah, bro, he's been behaving weird. I think it's because he's just not shitting, bro. Your shit is it's a daily part of your life, man. He's missing out on that.
Yo, I wonder if there's like trans men who end up dating gay men and then end up getting pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yo, that's low-key a play.
Yeah, that'd be
Why
wild,
not?
son.
That's actually way better, I feel like. Because if you're a gay dude, now you have both options back open again. You can still get some pussy, but the dude's a man.
Hey, and he got an asshole.
Like,
I don't even want to think
like
about
I'm
what
saying,
the fuck that looks like.
a woman, you know, she has all her assets intact, but then she goes and turns herself to a man. Now she got, you know, she looks like a man. It's everything like a, well, not everything. She's probably still gonna have little wrists and stuff. But that's still, nice. You can still play it off like, oh, it's a man, and now you're able to still get. You can still fuck from the front.
Yeah, what think about that shit?
Yeah,
bro, I saw this one video.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the gay homie. See what do you think about it?
Like,
see, I got a gay homie.
Hey, yo, I want to be gay today, so I'm gonna hit
population.
it in the ass.
Stop
you know,
bro. I did see this TLC shit, or it might not have been TLC.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it was like
What'd
they
you
have
see?
What'd you see?
like,
Oh,
like
shit.
okay,
I was
so
excited.
the dude became a girl and the girl became a dude. So then the girl who was a real girl had a baby, but then since the roles had switched, when the baby was born, right when the baby was born, they had the baby sucking on the man's tit.
Oh,
Ain't no milk in there. Oh, because he's still lactating.
So what man is lactating?
They got shit.
Sorry, I thought you meant the original, the one that started out as a woman who is now a man. See, it's
They
confusing,
switch.
bro.
So like imagine, okay, guy becomes girl, girl becomes guy. They have a baby, so the girl who is now a guy has the baby, right? But they're like, yeah, we don't want to play into the norms. So now that I'm the woman, but it's still the guy.
Yeah, bro. What she put in a little?
The
Hey,
baby,
remember they had the little milk packs in high school, and they'd have like just straight plastic around them. He just putting that shit.
Bro,
in
you
his
should have
titty.
seen the dude's face. He was so happy. He was. And I'm like, yo, why you suck?
There ain't no milk in there.
There's no milk. The baby's sucking a sweaty man tit.
He's just getting some
some
fucking
formula. That's
nipple
what
hairs.
he's getting.
He's just
The
getting
There's
nipple
nothing. You're
hairs.
getting man sweat. It's just drinking. I'm like, yo, this baby's gonna die in 2 weeks.
The baby about to be.
Got
Fucking
hairs,
straight
and I think
hairs.
they had an episode on Family Guy where Peter was trying to like breastfeed a baby or some shit like that. It was like the same shit.
You don't
I'm
know
like,
till
yo,
you
we're
try,
like,
bro. What if your nipples got some juice in them?
they have no juice in them. There's
I'll be
no
hitting
milk
chest
to
a lot.
sustain
Try.
no baby. And I'm like, yo, this is the crazy world that we're living in now. I don't accept.
Bro.
Well, speaking of babies, bro,